Hey there, it's Pete over at the Sampleist, and today we are checking out the Berlin Orchestra from Orchestral Tools. The Berlin Orchestra has been created alongside the Berklee School of Music and is designed to give you an all-in-one symphonic orchestral experience. Using samples from the original Berlin series, the Berlin Orchestra features both solo and ensemble instruments alongside the bread and butter articulations that we've come to expect. The Berlin Orchestra has been recorded in the Teledex Hall and features a single mix. For a limited time only, the Berlin Orchestra comes bundled with the Berlin Studio Teledex Reverb from Samplicity. This means that you can combine any non-Teldex recorded instrument with the Berlin Orchestra. From extended orchestral articulations to synths, guitars and piano, every instrument can now be performed in the same room. The Berlin Orchestra downloads at 40.7 gigabytes SINARC compressed and has been captured in 24-bit 48 kHz resolution. It runs in the free Orchestral Tools Sign Player and is currently on bundled offer of €499 plus VAT. What we are going to do in this video is check out the Berlin Orchestra, and then I've put it into the all-important composition. And of course, I will link to our Samplicity video on the Berlin Studio Reverb, the Teledex Reverb, and of course, I will discuss a little bit about how easy it is to use within the Berlin Orchestra. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Orchestral Tools for sending over a copy of the Berlin Orchestra so we could make this video. Of course, while we do get the instruments for free, it doesn't in any way cloud our thoughts, ideas or judgments on the instrument. So without further ado, let's jump into the Berlin Orchestra. And here we have the Berlin Orchestra loaded up in the free Orchestral Tools Sign Player. Before we go any further, you may have noticed in the introduction my voice sounds a little bit scratchy. I've got this cough, cold thing going on. It's been going on for a few days now. But I felt it really, really important to get this video made because there's only a couple of days left on the bundle price. And if you make orchestral music, you really should be considering this bundle. The orchestra plus the reverb, the possibilities are wonderful. So we're going to hear the gorgeous sounds of the Berlin Orchestra now, and that will counteract my Dalek sounding voice. Wonderful. Now, the folders. We have 4 folders. We've got strings, we've got woodwinds, we've got brass, we've got percussion. It's a big library. There's lots of instruments, ensembles and solos. I've loaded the instrument up at 0 dB in my DAW, but you're going to see me adjusting the volumes in the sign player because I want to get a good balance. So the solo instruments, by their very nature, are going to be quieter than the ensembles, for example. Let's start off with the strings. Now we can see we've got solo violin 1 and 2, solo viola, cello and bass, and then we've got the ensemble versions, violins 1, 2, violas, cello, basses, and we also have a harp as well. So let's just start off with the violin ones, and I'm going to load up all of the articulations. Sign Player is amazing for loading quickly. This is from an NVMe that is installed in my computer, and that was lightning fast to load all of these articulations. Now, obviously, through the performance, you can adjust the articulations. You've got key switches down the bottom, and of course, the mixer, you've only got a single mix. So I'm not going to be looking at the mixer at all. Let's just look at the library tab. I'm going to move my mouse over there, and let's play something. So here's the violins. You can really hear that room sound coming through, but it's not overdone or overbaked. It sounds not dry, just like say, very character rich. There we go. It's captured the Teledex sound beautifully. So we go through the using the mod wheel, like the velocity. Sorry, I meant the dynamic range. It's incredibly expressive, and I love the legato, and I love the cutoff as well. Listen to this. The release is gorgeous. I know you can adjust it, but why would you? That sounds amazing. Now, let's look at the sustain patch. Yeah, the timbre is amazing. Staccato shorts. It's got that. Yeah, so you can really move between the notes. Brilliant. Spiccato. Let's go a bit lower. That's too low. And I said lower in a funny way. Yeah. Brilliant. Pizzicato. Brilliant. Tremolo. Now that time on purpose, I did go too low. I love the sign player function that if you want to extend the range, you can. And it does stretch the sample intuitively. So I know I'm out of range, but listen to this. It sounds really cool. Let's go trills. Brilliant. So you can see we have our standard articulations. There are no extended articulations. There's no collegno, bar-top pizzicato, for example, flautando. But I always say too much choice can really cloud your composing experience. So this is fantastic for me because I would happily compose, you know, an entire symphonic work using just these articulations. Now, we are going to talk about a little bit later. If you want to add something extra, you can, obviously, using the Samplicity Teledex Reverb. But speaking about the orchestra only, I love what's on offer here. So this is just the violins. So let's remove the violin one. Now, if I play the violin 2, just legato, you can hear a slight difference. Obviously, it's violin 2. So they sound great. And then I've got viola. Let's just play these legato. I went too low again. They sound gorgeous. They really do. The cello. I love the fact there isn't a lot of exaggerated vibrato going on, because that really does put me off. Instruments, there we go. I couldn't find the word there. String sections that just have really exaggerated vibrato. It sounds unnatural when it's all combined to me, and I think the vibrato level's spot on. I love the range of the cello there as well. So, yeah, I can't play every articulation of every instrument because we'll be here all day, but wonderful. And the bass, I love a good growling bass. It growls. Let's just try the bass pizzicato as well. It sounds really bouncy. That sounds incredible. So that is, the string ensemble section. It's going to close those up. But if we look at the solo violin and the legato, so I'm going to bring this up. It loads in at, I think that's -6. I could be wrong. It's got like gorgeous progressive vibrato. And it's really agile. If I stop using the mod wheel, just so I get more movement with two hands. Yep. Beautiful. Absolutely love the vibrato there. So if I was playing the solo cello and I'll play a legato. And of course, having the solo instruments, when you combine them with the ensembles, you get that extra detail. So they're great having those there as well. And we've got the harp and just sustains, but again. That's all you need. If I just reach for my foot pedal. There it is. Let's go bring it up a bit. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. So let's check out some other sections. Now the brass is, we'll jump to the brass next. So you can see you've got trumpets 1, 2 and 3, and these are solo trumpets. So if I just load up the legato. Okay, and if I load up the second one, you're going to hear a timbral change. Excuse me. And I can hear the sound open wide up. So when I was playing just then, I was a bit over the top. Shall we sound the module? And I managed to get that dodgy transition, but if I do it a bit more delicately, absolutely fine. So that's trumpet 2. If we go trumpet ensemble, legato. Excuse me, that's some dodgy playing there. Yeah, they sound cool. Let's just play a staccato. Just could bring the volume down a bit. And when you're working with the instruments, it makes no difference. But when you're making a video on them, you want to try and balance it as best you can. Yeah, that sound great. And you can hear we got obviously some marcato as well. So long. So yeah, they sound great. So that's some trumpet action. Let's go horns. So solo horns. If I was to play I'll play the second, but sustained, so you can play some chords. And again, I love how they open up. Let's go turn that down a bit though. It's incredibly brassy, which sounds brilliant. So if I go to the horn ensemble, legato. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. It's very powerful. They sound amazing. If I just do the staccato. Again, bring it down. They sound brilliant. And we do have like stopped horns, for example. Sound brilliant. And short staccato. Bring it down again. Brilliant. So the horns sound fantastic. Trombone, let's play legato, the first trombone. So again, just bring it down and open it up. You've got that powerful double F layer. So you get some real power out of these, and that's just a solo trombone. I believe it's solo, yeah. And bass trombone as well. So of course when you combine these, the whole wall of brass sounds incredible. And then tuba. Absolutely love a good tuba. For me, it's instant Christmas. I love brass bands at Christmas. I know it's not Christmas. I know it's summer. Staccato. So I played it before it loaded then. Sounds brilliant. So there's a quick whistle-stop tour of the brass. And go percussion. Percussion's amazing in this library. If I just start off with, say, the celeste. Just going to get my sustain pedal. Absolutely love it. Tubular bells. Can't go wrong. Instant drama. Amazing. And let's go Glock. The Glock sounds really bright. Love it. And let's look at the drums. So I'm going to bring these down a little bit. Now they're all mapped bass towards the bottom. They got snares. Going to bring them down a bit more. I'm checking out my metering and I'm approaching red. Okay, so lots of orchestral percussion going on there. We have rolls. Excuse me. So you've got a snare roll there and you can use the mod wheel. So use a mod wheel to cycle through. And you can create some really cool rolls going on. And we've got dynamics as well. That's a diminuendo. Yeah, so you get the idea. Sounds great. And we've got untuned metals. Different volumes as well. That's one hell of a gong. Yeah, brill. And we've got percussion. I've actually not got this far up. Is there a mark tree? There it is. Interesting fact, I still use the Berlin Inspire 1 percussion a lot, especially around Christmas time, because their chimes sound absolutely fantastic. So yeah, love it. And we've got timpani. Now, they sound brilliant. So there's lots more articulations going on. You can have a very long crescendo. That is a long one. Let's just have a standard long one. Sounds great. And we'd do a very short one. Can really hear the room sound there. And we'd do a diminuendo, a short. Bring the volume down. There we go. So, yeah. They sound incredible. If I was quickly load up the vibraphone as well. Instant Spy. Love it. Marimbaphone. And finally, the xylophone. Sounds brilliant. So let's check out the Berlin Orchestra in a composition. And that was the composition featuring the Berlin Orchestra. And it brings me to my first point. The Berlin Orchestra is a fantastic symphonic orchestra. And it's very, very versatile. So if you go onto the Orchestral Tools website, you're going to hear some amazing demos, some symphonic masterpieces, and they sound brilliant. And of course, this library's been out for a couple of years now, so if you go on YouTube, you can see other examples as well. I wanted to do something a little bit different, so my intention was to do some documentary underscore style music, and this is a great example of starting in one genre, one direction, and then changing it. So about halfway through, because I had an hour, it was a composing challenge, I went with the spaghetti western. Now I love spaghetti western, can't deny it, and it shows the Berlin Orchestra in a slightly different style. So it is a very, very capable symphonic orchestra, but for me, I want my orchestras to be able to do quite a lot of different things. So for film scoring, for obviously if I'm doing, let's say I'm doing a video game and this is going to become a theme, I could use it for this, and it just works really, really well. So let's talk about the composition. Now on the left hand side, you can see I've represented the strings, the brass, the woods, the percussion, the tune percussion in different groups. Having said that, I've only grouped together the strings and the percussion, so I can isolate those. I can easily isolate the horns if I want to, because there's only 2, or the tune percussion because there's only 4. But yeah, I've laid out the project this way for that reason. Now, down the bottom there are 2 red tracks, and these are non-Orchestral Tools tracks. I have not used the Samplicity Reverb because I actually don't own it. But I do have experience of using different types of reverb in specific rooms and putting them inside. So to the best of my ability, I've kind of like matched the reverberation. There we go. Now I've not adjusted or added anything else really. It's just the mix out of the box, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. So let's just start off by listening to, I've got a short cello and a bass underneath just growling away. Okay, so that's our kind of foundation, and we also have a bass drum going on, and I will talk about the percussion a lot. All the sections are fantastic, but I love this percussion. Now we've got these rolls, and a really simple bass, which sounds great. I did apply a tiny delay to that. If I just solo the bass drum, yeah, really tiny delay. So that sounds brilliant. And then we've got the tune percussion as well, and the tune percussion is amazing. So I'm using vibraphone and celeste. Now I've used again a creative delay on the vibraphone, and we've got the celeste just straight out of the box. And then you got the staple of any spaghetti western. You got the tubular bells as well, which sound dramatic and quite frankly fantastic. Brilliant. Now, if I just unsolo everything, I'm going to mute the baritone guitar so we can just hear the intro and the orchestral sections. Okay, so it's all about building up. Now we add the cello, so if I just solo the strings, absolutely brilliant. And then we also bring in the solo flute. Now the woodwinds sound incredible, and quite a curious thing happens here. Maybe it's just me. If I solo it, It sounds like a gorgeous flute because it is, but in context, I don't know what it is. It's just with everything else going on, I really get that kind of harmonica vibe. And it's because I'm really driving the dynamics. So it's a very like soft build up, but using quite an aggressive flute. And it just gives it that feel. But it's a flute still. It's a gorgeous sounding instrument, but I love the dynamic range of this orchestra. Sounds brilliant. So let's move on to the next bit. So you'll notice I save a lot of the high strings later. So we've got a bit of a theme, and I'm harmonizing the flute theme. In fact, the strings take over this theme, and the flute then plays a harmony. And I'm bringing in one of the solo horns as well, and also the string shorts. So if I just play it, and then I'll isolate a couple of sections. It is going to do a roll, so let's just go from here. Okay, brilliant. So we've got this kind of like walk up going on. I'm just going to double check. What's my programming looking like there? Yeah, so it actually sounds a little bit like, even though it's on the grid, I missed a transition there. Okay, so that should be legato. Yeah, now it sounds even, but it sounded like the flute was kind of like jumping ahead. And that's a programming thing, not a library thing. There we go. And the nice thing is, I've done so much copy and pasting, I've probably done that across every section. But hey, it doesn't matter. It's just a demo to try things out, isn't it? So we got that going on. Now we got the string shorts. So let's isolate those. So I'm using this spiccato articulation. They're really detailed and snappy, which is very, very cool. And we also have the violin 2 playing. And again, that's just playing a sort of variation of the theme. Yeah, fantastic. So you sort of get a really good idea of what the strings sound like because, again, they're very dynamic and the way they've been recorded, there's lots and lots of detail and they're not overly wet. And sometimes when you get orchestras, when there's only a single mix, the sort of baked-in mix is too wet to control, but this really, really isn't. It just sounds absolutely wonderful. Now, you can hear that sort of legato transition. Yeah, it kind of works actually. Now I introduced the first violin legato and it's playing a harmonized part, I think in thirds moving up. So before we look into the next section and hear all the strings in action, the solo horn sounds decadent. Let's go stop it there. Just have a quick look. Yeah, so again, you can really tell. It's what happens when you get an hour. And I self-impose that, so I can't use that as a reason. But, you know, it's really important your legato transitions are legato transitions when recording. Yeah, missed one there as well. But I love the dynamics and the raspiness that the brass can achieve. And of course, there are 4 different horns, I believe, and I chose number 2 because it's one that sort of jumped out at me. And you can see just, you know, what I'm adjusting in terms of CCs. So yeah, I sort of record with 2 faders going on. So we've got the horns too, and then we've got the percussion. And like I say, the percussion is amazing. Oh, actually, yeah, let's look at the percussion, and we go back to the winds. So solo percussion, we've got these rolls again, so I'm going to play from here. I say solo percussion, I'm going to isolate it. I think it sounds incredible. It's a really, really simple section. And then if we go to the woods, we've got the flute, and then I introduce the oboe. And they're playing different things. I actually wrote the melody on the winds and the harmony that goes with it, and then just moved it across the different sections. So lovely. Now, let's go over to the next section. So again, we've got these swells and rolls coming in. Well, rolls, not swells. And I was going to play that and see what the last section sounds like. Okay, so it's essentially an exercise in layering because I haven't changed the chord progression at all. So I brought in the violin 2 spiccato. So let's just hear the spiccato. And the cello I've automated so it goes louder. So I'll play it before so you can hear the difference. And of course, I've used some accents as well, which is why some notes sound like they're jumping out, but in context, it works. So let's just solo that off. And that cutoff is amazing. Absolutely love it. It's so clean. So the strings sound beautiful. And then we have the horn ensemble. So I'm just going to play the horns in isolation. So we've gone from, actually, I'll go from solo horn to the ensemble. So you can hear the timbre change. Beautiful. And then the flute and the oboe stay the same. So I'm just going to look at the percussion. Now I introduced this rhythm, which is just different percussions, and I've called it rhythm. Very inventive. I'm just letting the different drums do their work, really. The different percussion. But when I solo it off, again with the rolls, it sounds wonderful. Great ending, and I love the timpani. Sounds wonderful. And then at the bottom, one thing I didn't actually play was we've got a second vibraphone. It's just holding down a bass part, as it were. It's only 3 chords, the whole thing. And then alongside the original one, So it's a very small creative delay going on there. It sounds cool. And again, the celeste and the tuba bells. And did I take... Oh, I'm not sure. What's the celeste playing? I'm pretty sure the celeste part and the... Let's just take the cello, play that together. I think they're the same. There we go. It's nothing like recycling musical ideas and putting them up, which is great. But again, I said it's all about layering. And we got the jaw harp down the bottom. I'm just going to play it in isolation. It's there in the mix, so if I play that section without the baritone still. Yeah, brilliant. Now, to make everything just sound instantly spaghetti western, add a baritone guitar. So here is the baritone included. And that plays the exact same thing all the way through. So if I go to the main section, it's there in the mix and it really cuts through. Now, what I could do is just end with a baritone guitar playing the chord as well, which I probably should have done. So we've got this ending now. I'll play from here. And there we go. I imagine I automated some kind of fade out. Yeah, I did. So nice fade. And that is the track. So now we're composing, went a bit cowboy. But it sounds brilliant. And the orchestra is it's brilliant to work with, especially if you're speed writing. And I will save a lot of this for my closing thoughts. But my initial, I suppose, thoughts having used it is that it's very, very versatile, and that is really, really important. So I don't want people to think Orchestral Tools Berlin Orchestra and it's just going to be for classical music or romantic or, you know, anything symphonic based. It has got a lot of uses and it sounds incredible. It's now time for my closing thoughts about the Berlin Orchestra from Orchestral Tools. What do I think about it? Well, out the box, it has that wow factor. It sounds incredible. I've never ever used the Berlin flagship libraries before. And of course, these share the same samples and they sound incredible. The detail that the sampling goes into is amazing. They are deep, they are character rich, they are nuanced. It just forms this amazing symphonic experience. So the basis of the orchestra, the range of instruments, the solos, the ensembles, everything sounds incredible. Of course, articulations. Now, some may say, well, there's only your standard articulations here. There's no extended articulations. But really, for 95% of our composing needs, that's all we need. And I actually like having less choice sometimes. Too much choice can be a hindrance. So I was quite happy, and I've not used anywhere near all of the articulations, and if I was doing a massive symphonic piece, I'd be perfectly happy working with the articulations we have. However, let's talk about the 5%. So the 5%, which, you know, these might be extended articulations. Well, let's say you got a horn rip. You can take a horn rip from any library And as long as it's a dry signal, you can then use the Samplicity Teledex Reverb to place it in the same room as the Berlin Orchestra. How wonderful is that? Any instrument you want, you can combine with it. And that's why I say this is a really versatile orchestra. Tombrelli, you can do video game scoring, you can do movie scoring, anything cinematic, underscore. And of course, you can do gigantic symphonic scoring, got all the velocity layers, the dynamic response. It's wonderful for that. But the fact you can combine it with anything else makes it even better. So I've done a spaghetti western, and I'm really, really pleased with the outcome. So do I recommend it? For €499 plus VAT, of course I recommend it. It is a wonderful all-in-one library, and it's not just a sketching library. Some people may refer to it as that. I've seen comments online saying, yeah, it's good for sketching, but you'd use your full sections normally. This sounds amazing, and for final productions I would happily use it. In fact, I will be, because yeah, the quality is brilliant. All that leaves me to say is thank you once again to Orchestral Tools for sending over a copy of the Berlin Orchestra. If you like what you heard, feel free to leave a like on the video, and of course drop us a comment. We love getting dialogues going about our instruments that we look at, and you know, the conversations we've had have been absolutely fantastic on the channel, so we want to keep more of that going. And we do endeavour to respond to absolutely every comment on there. So if you have left us a comment on something and we've not got to it yet, rest assured we will do. And of course, please check out our other videos. We've got lots and lots of videos, lots of different developers, and there's something for everyone on the channel. So please check out our other videos. And then the best way you can support us is to drop a subscribe on the channel. Subscribing to us means we grow, and it means our videos get more visibility and YouTube algorithm, blah, 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 blah. But we don't get any financial gain from making these videos. We've got no affiliate links. We don't have advertising deals going on. We just make the videos for the love of composing, the community, the developers, and just sharing knowledge. Because, of course, the more we know, the better things are. There we go. That's very profound. So please take the time to subscribe. We do check the analytics. We actually have 81% of our viewers are not subscribed to our channel, so we want to lower that number over the coming months. So please hit that subscribe and make our day. There we go. So if you've made it to the end of the video, well done for getting this far. I know my voice is very, very scratchy. I sound a bit like a Dalek. So yeah, thank you so much for that. And of course, keep making that wonderful music. Until next time, have a great day, and we'll speak again soon.